Welcome tech lovers, Ibrar here. Today I am going to cover Docker container logs with examples. This is the part 11 of Docker 0 to Hero series. I can take guarantee that after watching this video, you will become a master of Docker logs. This is the most important command to work with production environment. Watch video till the end. Devops in action channel is more focused on Devops in easy way. You always found complexity and simplicity here. Each video guide is available in the video's description. Here will be only action as channel name is Devops in action. So let's jump to the live without any delay. On my channel you can find out the link of GitHub. Just open it and go in the repo, and in Docker 0 to Hero series you can get day 11, right? Here basically I am going to deep dive into container logging systems from basic to advanced. So be with me and be expert, right? So why Docker logging is required? Basically for work in dev, QA, test and production, this is a simple way, but again Docker logging is most important when you comes to in DevOps world, right? There are a lot of things working in DevOps. Let's say there is one Loki is the database for logging, but before that at least you must aware what is log and how it works, how you can ship that logs to your monitoring system, either in LGTM or either in ELK, whatever. There are a lot of things available, right? So instead of explaining these things, let's start why it is, right? Basically Docker logging is the most important point is debugging. When you found the issue, you want to fix the issue, then in that case you need to see what is the exact error, how you can fix it. Okay, to debugging purpose you need to use Docker logs. Again, the second thing is the monitoring. You can monitor your container health, either it is running with the Docker run command, either in Docker compose command, either it is in Swarm or Kubernetes, doesn't matter, but for monitoring it is also helpful. And some other options is auditing and troubleshootings. So Docker container logs provide two things. One is the standard output and second one is the standard error. By default it will provide combined log in a log section. So if you want to separate it, in that case you can do. I will show you in this series how you can separately see the standard output and standard error log separately. Okay, but by default Docker behavior is it's provide the both logs in the same channel, right? So here you can see Docker help command. I always prefer use Docker help command, but before that let's start the terminal. Okay, so here on my channel you always found well documented things. You not need to write or type anything, just copy paste it and see in action and enjoy, right? When you press Docker container logs -- help, in that case it will provide you options. Basically usage of Docker is Docker container logs, and after that you pass the options, and after that you need to pass the container name or container ID, right? Also some aliases available: Docker container logs, Docker logs. So we always prefer to shortcut use Docker logs. and options available like details. So extra details provided to logs, and follow the log output since string. So you can either use since, or here one another options is available, where it is, yeah, until, right? Either you use since or until, both options is available. And after that one is the tail and timestamp. Yeah, until is here in the last. Okay, so with the docker help command, it's provide the all available options, so you can understand, you can use it easily, right? So here is the syntax examples. Docker logs follow container name or id. If you want to see in the details, then use this one, timestamp, tail, and follow the number. Okay, here I did number, and with the tail 5 you can also the follow. Okay, by default you want to 5 line first, and after that you want to follow. So here two things is available. Okay, so docker logs, again, if you want to since the date, you can find out. And if you want to find out the until, in that case use this one. And also there is very good way you can find out the specific date to a specific date, right? So I want to find out the log since and until for the any containers. This is the very good thing to extract productions log, right? Another one is the docker logs and container id. You want to pass the pattern. Let's say if you want to find out the error, warning, any other keywords, right? So let's start the live activity and see how it works, right? So I'm going to create the first container. Okay, here let's maximize it, clear the screen, and my first container is started, right? So when you see this container log, one container is running with the name log. You can see just I printed welcome to Devops in action, also added the date before the this header, right? You can see here I added while true, do echo, and printed the date, and after that this one. This is simple for get output, but when you work with the production environment, in that case you use Grafana, ELK, Prometheus, there are a lot of things available there. So how you can see their log? So let's make a simpler thing similar to production environment. So I created two containers, one is the Grafana, one is the logger. So we do practices on these two containers. Okay, first we want to set container alias, because I don't want to pass container name again and again. This is again time consuming. Okay, so before that, let's say I want to check the containers size. So how much disk utilization used by any container. So here you can see the name of container is logger and it's used 6.58 MB, and Grafana used, you can see here, 719 MB, and log is used 4.28. This is the basically all disk usage, not the log one. So we want to check the log. So first I am going to follow means it's continuously trailing. Okay, so here you can see this is the basically dummy logger. Okay, it's generating, it's producing random logs, you can say, right? And there will be one debug, info, warning, and error. 4 types of error it's generating, four types of logs it's generating, you can say. Okay, So second one is the I want to see in the details. What is in the details? You can see here the same thing is there, but it's not following, right? You can see here it's showing the same thing, but it's not following. And again, if you want to see the timestamp, by default it's providing, but if you want to again see the timestamp, if it is not showing in your case, in that case you can add timestamp, and you can see this is the basically added timestamp before the log, but in my case it is already there, right? And the next one is the tail 10. So I want to just follow only 10 lines, and after that exiting, right? Similar to you can follow 10 lines and again follow the after its logs. Here I am just printing 5 line first, and after that I want to follow. You can see here first is it's printed 5 lines, after that it's following, right? So next one is the since command. So I want to see the containers log since 10/6/25. Okay, it's showing that. And I want to see until logs. Let's say I want to change the date from the 12. Similarly, you can either use since or until, or you can pass the same thing in single command. Okay, so in that case you can take the logs of exact date, right? So let's see, I want to get today's only, so I want to set 11 here, or until to 12, right? What happened? Oh, my bad, it's not 12, it's 11. Okay, so here you can see I extracted log from 11 to 12. Similar to if you have a production environment and it's generating a huge amount of log and you want to extract a specific date, then you can do it. Okay, similar you can save this to in any file. Let's say I want to store temp directory, and let's say it is my API log. Okay, so I can save it, and after that you can check it, and you can ship these logs to you for debugging purpose to you with your developer, right? The next one is the filter, right? So I want to filter any pattern, right? I want to see the error if I want, otherwise I want to filter, let's say warn. Okay, and I want to filter any other keywords, let's say info, and let's say I want to filter any keywords, let's say here is the context, or here is the important, any keywords you can filter, right? So I am filtering this one, you can see. Similar, you can search any keywords from your logs, right? The same thing again, you can search, if it is not available then you cannot get, right? And if you want to filter out multiple keywords at once, in that case you can use grep command and type multiple keywords with the pipe, right? So here you can see I am getting error warning related my containers, right? And again I think I added the same thing with the keyword replacing. So here I added a since here, and after the content container name and grep error. The similar thing we already did practices of here since, and anywhere we can grep error, grep any keywords in any commands after using the pipe, right? So this is the again same thing. Okay, I need to just change the date here, and I can get any error if it is there. Why it is not showing? It's showing error here, but it is not showing. Why? Grep -i error. What's wrong? Since 11, I think I need to change the date. You can see here, right? So if you want to see a standard output and a standard error as a separately, in that case you can do this. Is the simple example. Okay, I am starting a new container with the name log test and using the busy box, and here I am printing, one is the standard output, second one is the standard error, and sending a standard error to in error, and after that sleeping 100. Okay, so let's see in the logs. So I am exporting log test to standard out log in the temp, and error one you can see here standard exporting in the temp also. So I want to see that log is available there or not, and error is available there or not. Similar, you can extract standard out or standard error in your production environment. That is very helpful when you work with the production. Let's say your container is producing high volume of logs, and you want to ship that logs using prompt tell or either elk, doesn't matter, but that is the very critical issue where this produces 10 logs in the 10 GB. So instead of shipping 10 GB, you should extract only error log and ship that error log only, instead of sending information, right? Again, I want to check where this log path available. By default, Docker store logs in JSON format. So let's see where it is. The default path is Docker. Here you can see where lib Docker container, and after that the container ID available till here, and one slash added here, and after the same container ID dash json.log. If you want to cat it, right, vlogs using cat, then you can use the cat, right? So it's not allow you direct cat. Let's see, because it's under the root permission. So you need to add sudo command to see the file, right? Similar here, if you want to tell, then you need to again use sudo. What happened? It's terminated the terminal. Okay, I got the log path, and sudo tail -f and container full path. Here you can see log is coming in with the JSON format, in the JSON format, right? And the next one is the, if you want to check size of that log specific container, because I stored container name here, and I want to check the log size of this container. You can see here it's 480k, right? Again it's 484k. Continuously it's producing the log and it's increasing, you can see here, right? So this is the first single container to check log. But if you want to check logs of all containers, then what you can do, similar, find this, run this command, and it will just find out the all containers .log, and after that it's calculate, right? And if you want to see the separately, by default this is container calculating all the containers log and giving output as single. And if you want to see the separate containers log size, in that case you can run this command. With this command you can see in output loggers log is 524k, Grafana produced 316k, and log is 116k. And if you want to export your logs or backup your logs, then similar you can do this. Let's say if you want to export log since 1 hour, just export this log, okay? And similar you can use since or until and your container name and exported log, okay? Similar you can use any of them command to export logs, okay? So it will works, right? And after that you need to add this pipeline export options and set the path. So now I want to clear logs of my containers, okay? So let's see the current log of my containers. Right now it's more than 100k. So let's clear log. Now I run the again same command. You can see here loggers log cleared. Now it's 4.0k, right? And there are other options available. You can if you familiar, then you can use any of them, okay? Similar, I want to delete the logs files of all Docker container in your systems. This is not great for production, but if you want, if you expert, then you can use it. So I cleared the logs of all containers and I want to check now. You can see here all the logs cleared, all containers logs cleared, right? Basically these commands are very important when you work with the production environment. You can extract, you can see the log, you can clean the log, you can back up the log, right? So next one is the, if I want to add a tag in my log. Sometimes it's required when you work with the ELK and Grafana LGTM stack. In that case you want to add some tag in your logs. So how you can add the tag in your log? Similarly, you can see here I started a Nginx container with the port 8090 and I'm adding the name of container in the tag, right? So let's see it. I started the container, I'm hitting one request to this container and you can see simple output. And if you see the logs of this container here, there is nothing similar to tag. But when you inspect the JSON format, again I am setting the Nginx name here, either container ID equal to this kind of thing, either you can set the directly name of container name like Nginx. It depends to you, okay? So I am checking the log. What happened? Okay, it's require container ID. Okay, so I need to add the container ID here, not container name. Yes, here you can see in the all logs one tag is added. In the all logs you can see here one tag added. Similar, if you want to add multiple tag, in that case you can add those as well. Just remove this container, okay, and run container with the dot image name, dot name, dot id, whatever you want you can add in this tag. So I'm added image name, name and id, only three things here. And let's see it is running or not. Yes, it is running. Again, see the same, set the container name again and see the logs. Now you can see in the tag there is the image, you can say image name and container name and container id. Okay, when you see the container id 78, this is the Nginx container id, you can see here, right? So with the help of this trick you can pass any of the tag in your log, and after that in elk in loki you can separate this tag, right? This is the very important for DevOps world. The next one is the default logging driver. By default logging driver is the JSON file for the Docker, and it's store all files here under the containers and your container id, and after that container id dash json.logs. okay, here some markdown formatting issue happened. Okay, I will fix it, no problem. Pros is simple to use, logs are persistent to host and support docker logs command. But cons is logs can consume significant disk space, not ideal for large scale productions. So for large scale production, I multiple time discussed that we use separate DevOps tools, either ELK, either Grafana. There are a lot of things available. Okay, so let's see which kind of options available. Okay, first thing first, I want to see the info and I want to check the available options. Okay, so here I want to check global logging driver available in my system. So when you run this command, and after that here you can see my right now supporting driver is the JSON file. Okay, but with the above command I can get all details, I can search manually, but I don't want to go with that kind of effort. I want shortcut. So similar, you can just extract only logging driver keywords here. It's showing JSON file, right? That's good. And I want to see the supported plugin available in the Docker. So here you can see it's available AWS log. You can send this logs to AWS logs, fluentd, GCP logs, Gel, journal.ctl, JSON file, local, Splunk, syslog. There are a lot of options available, but that is not well formatted. So I want to see in the well formatted here. You can see the options available the same, right? So if you want to use any of them, in that case you need to edit the daemon file. Here you can see I already set the JSON file and log ops added here. Max size of my file will be 10 MB and max file size it will keep 3. In that case it will keep 3 file with the size of 10 MB. Based on your environment, based on your application, you can change these options. Okay, and I added some information for you. Let's say if you want to run the syslog server and you want to send the logs to syslog, then just run this container on any separate systems, and in your existing server where you want to ship the log. In that case, you just edit this docker daemon file and put the IP address of your syslog server and restart the docker container, docker services, right? Other options available also here if you want to use syslog but non-blocking mode, and json file I already discussed, and with the some labels. Again, when you writing the json file daemon.json, after writing it, make sure validate it before restarting the docker service, right? And after that, restart the service and check the status. Here I added the max size and max file, what it does, that related information, and yeah, daemon configuration file guide available here, how you can configure your daemon file, not only related to driver, log driver. Instead of, there are a lot of things available here. You can just read it and understand it and implement it based on your requirement, right? I always recommend that go with the original documentation of any tool where you are working. The next one is the set directly log driver to a specific container to override global config. Let's say in my case or in your case, if you set this log to maybe journalctl or syslog, in that case what happen, every container follow this rule, follow this process, right? But if you don't want to send that containers log to syslog server, in that case you can overwrite it. Okay, so just assume that your machine is configured with the syslog and you don't want to the new containers log to syslog, right? In that case you can run the container. Let's say in my example I'm setting the nginx, and log driver I am just overriding from syslog to json file, and rest of the things same, and just run it. Okay, once you run it, okay, nginx is already there, that's the reason it's showing. Okay, I want to remove the nginx and started it again, and you can inspect any containers following which kind of logs type. You can simply inspect and put the container name here. Okay, okay, in this case I changed 100 MB max size and 3 retry, right? Docker logging drivers provides many types of you can say supported drivers. Here one is the none. This the again most important when you go with production and you don't want to produce your log. Okay, in some containers basically that is init container and I don't want it, and some init containers logs required. It totally depends on business perspective. Okay, when you not required that log, just configured with the none driver. Okay, there are multiple types of log driver available here, and I added description, just read it. I am avoiding to increase this video length, so I'm just skipping for explaining all these things. Limitations of driver, you can just read it, and set driver runtime, similar thing. Yes, I want to show GUI of logging. Let's say if you want to see that I want to see continuously trailing log, but not in terminal, in my web browser. In that case, one tool is available is the Dozel. Dozel is the very good things in terms of trailing log. Okay, so I started it on the 80 port. Let's start it. 80. Here you can see 5 containers running: Nginx, Logger, Grafana and logs. let's say I want to see first logger. With the dosal, there is very good things here. You can see what happened. Container has not logged it. Why? Okay, see. What's wrong? Yeah, now it's started. In the dosal, you can find out the specific colors here. Green one is for info, and orange one for warning, and red one is for error. That is very good things. And logger is basically random log generator, so it's continuously producing log. So I am going to stop it. Yes. Okay, so we can see here it's stopping. It's stopped. Here you can see the log types. Here is the one. You can see the color of error, warning, debug, and info. All the types of color it's providing the separately, right? Similar you can see in the Grafana. It's taking some time to load the logs, but instead of wasting time, let's follow the next one. Okay, the second one app is the very good app, which is web UI. Okay, so I added that options available where this is basically some developer is Amir something, they developed this dosal that is very good for anonymous log. But this application provide not only logs but control on the Docker container as well, right? What happened here? I did some mistake or what? Oh, I missed this line. Okay, it's started on the 9000 port, so let's again run this one and 9000. Here you can see it's not only provide the containers logs, it's global logs. Also you can get the stats of containers. Okay, so here is the time started, CPU utilization, memory utilization, max memory, net IO, all the things, and also how many images in your systems you can get this, and which client you connected. By default my container is running with the local socket, but if you go with the API, then it will show. Let's say in your system you can connected multiple Docker environment with the API, then you can see there as well. Okay, let's see one container. In my case, just I want to see the log. Here you can got multiple options: inspect, process on top, stats log, change diff, rename, restart, start, stop, kill, even RM also available. Okay, commit, you can commit images as well. Okay, so I'm interested in the logs, so just show this. It's not showing the log, maybe it's not producing, so I want to check log of let's say Nginx. Yeah, it is here. Here you can change the refresh rate and the line, how many records do you need, but not like that. It's provide color in the based on the level. Here you cannot get the color, but again here you can get multiple options. Let's say you can container, restart, stop, kill, and all that these things. The third one is the very good, that is the portainer, which is complete stack management. Okay, The first one is only provide the logs, second one is provide logs, some stats and some control over the container, but the third one is provide you the full control over the your stack. Okay, so it's showing 9000 port is used. Yeah, it's used by the above one. Okay, no problem. I want to remove this one. Web UI. Okay, so I removed it and I want to copy, run it again. Portainer is already where it is portainer. Okay, it's already conflict with portainer. Okay, it is already in use container. Okay, I don't want this one. Okay, so I want to run it again. And when you comes to Dozel, now you can see portainer is running and it's started some logging. Okay, also some memory related information it's providing, memory usage and load. Okay, and here it's stopped and started the portainer. So similar, I am putting 12 character, so I am providing 3 times. Okay, here in the containers you can see all the containers states, and you can see any containers log. Let's say I want to see the logger one. When you go the logger one and click on the logs, here you can find out the all logs. Okay, and here you can filter, and one more thing, here you can manage images, networks, volumes. There are a lot of things with the portainer you can manage. Even you can use Docker Compose stack as well. Okay, here are some multiple stacks available, templates. You can run any application based on your requirement. Okay, either you can add custom stacks and paste Docker Compose YAML here. This is a very good tool for logging and monitoring as well, right? So let's see Nginx logs here. Nginx log you can see here. Either you can inspect this container as well, similar which we used on Docker command on the terminal, and here is the its monitoring statistics, right? There are 3 PID is running. So let's jump to the GitHub repo again, and here is some best practices. Log to standard output stream. Always limit the log size, rotate log. Again, here what is the meaning of log to standard output stream? In that case, you can use, if you are using production or you are working with Devops, just use your Devops tools like fluentd or any other tools, right? Here is some summary, and I added Docker logging resources. So when you click on the all options, you can get all the documentation related things. Okay, here you can see this is use the log driver fluentd and pass the address and other options. This is the daemon configuration file, Docker container logs commands. Here they're not explained as much I explained, but yeah, you must review this official documentation. Logging driver options available here. Here is the default one, JSON file. You can use syslog, journald, and fluentd, wslog, Splunk. You can use any of them. Okay, this is the driver log output. Okay, the next one is I added some Devops integration for you. This is the additional things I'm not going to cover in the Docker 0 to Hero series. Maybe it will come in the next upcoming video. Best practices for production logging, and choose the right driver. Centralized logging stack. Either use ELK, EFK, Promtail, Loki, Grafana, Datadog, Splunk, Devreli thing you can use. Okay, and here is the fluentd related things, and AWS log. If you want to send your driver your logs to AWS, then you can use this one. If you want to rotate your log, you can just configure this one. And if you want to clean log from the Jenkins, just pass this to truncate 0 in your complete JSON log. It's basically cleaning the all containers logs. You can do the same thing in GitHub Actions. So that's it for this video. You can connect with me, and you can hit star if you like this my GitHub repo. Okay, I think that is enough for this part, right? So let me know what you guys think. If you have any question, leave a comment. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. See you in the next video.